Hey everyone.
Hello, hello.
Hello there. It is another fine Monday here on the Double Impact Show. I am John C. Morley, one of your co hosts, and I'm with the one and only.
Hurricane H.
And together we make up
Double impact.
Double
We missed the
Impact.
time.
It was close. It was
Close enough.
close.
Yeah. There's a delay. Let's blame it
I
on the
think we got
internet.
to sync it to one of the words.
Yep.
So when the word you goes right with your shirt, double like right there. So we're both in time with thing we see, not just here.
Okay.
Okay.
Again, there's a delay. We'll still have a delay.
All right. Well,
uh,
there are delays a lot of things in life, but things still happen. So
they just
you know
happen
how I
later.
always what's that?
They just happen later.
It happens later, yeah. But some people get impatient, it doesn't happen at all.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So every week I write a tech article. I haven't written a motivation article yet. I've got to write that tonight. Probably going to write about leadership. Leaders are not born; they're made. I'm going to write a whole thing on that. Well, I write tech articles about lots of different things, and I said, "Gee, what do I want to learn about?" And that's how it always inspires me. I said, "Other people want to learn about that too." So I decided to write a tech article about the evolution of the ice rink.
Ice rink.
The ice rink. It started many, many years ago. I mean, many years ago. And they had something called hog's lard, okay, as opposed to real ice. And it was kept together through a complex cooling. And that's what made it skatable. Hog's lard to real ice.
Interesting stuff.
Interesting?
Very
All
much.
right. So just to kind of fast forward, I'm not going to read the whole article for you. You can go to believemeachieve.com for that. But what I wanted to do is that it really evolved. They had like a 1.0, 2.0, a 3.0, and they basically marketed to the wealthy. And they called it the Glaciarium. It was on King Street in Portman Square in the UK. And it was originally a Covenant Garden. This was according to the author Julian Walker. And it was just very interesting. But, it was short lived because then they made them out of sulfur. Who the heck wants to skate on sulfur? Right?
I don't know, man.
That probably, I got to tell you, that probably smelled.
Yeah, it
Hog's
sounds like
lard.
smells like a volcano.
What's that?
I said it will smell like a volcano.
So, needless to say, HH, that concept caused people to not be very happy. And, well, the place was shut down. And then another gentleman came along, John Jambi, and he revived the Glacier in London in 1886. And in the same breath, without any concern, he designed something that was even better using, yes, a steam system to cool the ice. So they used this system to start to make something using pipes and to cool it. Well, that obviously grew in popularity. But to really tell you how it works, they put down pipes in concrete, which is if it's a permanent place, or if it's a temporary place, like at Madison Square Garden, a lot of places that don't have an ice, well, they put wooden planks down, and then they roll out, let's say, these plastic tubes. It's like a mat, and then they connect it to a very high powered chiller. Takes the glycol and actually brings it to temperatures below or below freezing temperature, 2 degrees Fahrenheit. And so when that happens, most things would freeze. Well, not glycol. Glycol is a very unique liquid that will not freeze. It just gets very cold, and it becomes this attractive, let's say, radiator for cold. And they have to make the ice, HH, 1 inch at a time. So let's say that they were about to get ready for a National Hockey League game in a place that did not have a formal ice rink system. Even though they had the chillers and all that, they would have to put the planks down. Then they would have to get everything ready, put the tubes down. Then after they do that, they connect it to the system. They pump glycol through it, which takes less than 5 minutes. They get it really cold. And then a guy stands with a hose, and he starts giving it a flood. And then they let the first inch freeze, then the second inch, then the third inch. They do this up to 30 inches. And then when they're all done, they go and paint the markings on the ice, or they use the rub-offs. And then they got to put 1 or 2 more inches of ice. So if the game start tomorrow at 7 p.m., well, it'd be too late because we need 24 hours to make ice from beginning to end for a game. Damn. Tell me that's not wild, HH.
Oh, it is. I don't know, man. That's a lot of work. I mean,
and so if you don't have a professional ice rink, which is where you have concrete and then the pipes are in the concrete, which a lot of places don't have, like sports arenas, they have a temporary ice rink with a permanent system with, the hoses, they connect to it. But when it's over, they just put everything back underneath, tuck it away, and take the boards away. A lot of these places, HH, do this several times a month or a week. If they had a concert, let's say on Saturday, and now there's a National Hockey League game coming up Monday, well, as soon as the ice hockey's gone, they immediately get to work and start making ice.
Whew. Well, so they got to make it, they got to take it off. I mean, how does that work?
Well, they start out with a process. Okay, the first process is that if it's like a typical arena, they don't have, it's not a formal ice rink, they've got to lift up the floor, right? The NBA basketball floor or whatever floor they got on there. And then they've got to put down the wood. And then once they got the wood all down, then they got to roll the plastic tube mat down. Then they connect the plastic tube mat to the chilling system, and then they pump glycol through the mat. And then within a few minutes, it gets so cold, but it doesn't freeze. And then they start dousing it with water.
No. So, but then how do they remove all that for the next?
Remove
adventure?
what?
Well, I mean, they set it up for a game, but now they want to.
So you got your basketball game, right? The basketball game just finished, right? And let's say it's 11:30 at night. But meanwhile, there is a major NHL game happening in a day and a half because you need 24 hours to make ice.
Yeah.
But you have to realize there's extra time too because you have to build the ice thing because it's like a temporary thing. So you have to lift the floors up. The men, basically undo the hooks, and they lift up these big floors, which are what make up your basketball court. They're in sections. And then after they do that, they put plywood down. And then they roll out the plastic tubes mat. Then they connect that to the chiller. Then they pump glycol through that. And within about 5 minutes or less, it gets really cold.
No, John. So that's when they're going from basketball to hockey, right? Or whatever. But what about the reverse now? They got to reverse that whole process?
So let's say you want to go from ice to
dry
basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. First thing you have to do is you're going to turn off the glycol chiller, and you need to get the ice to melt. And once the ice melts, okay, it's going to take a little while. Then they have pumps that pump out the water. Then you remove, you make sure that the lines are all pumped out of glycol. And once that's all clear, then you disconnect them. You take the mat, you roll it up, and you got your boards. You take your boards up, and now you start putting your oats back down for your ball game.
And that's another 24 hours?
Well, 24 hours just to make ice, HH. If you got to make a court, you got to allow an extra easy 4 or 5 hours to do the court. Ice making ice is 24 hours. So if you've ever been to an ice rink and they just put the ice rink in, it's brand new. It's a concrete floor. And then underneath the concrete floor, there's several pipes that are pushing glycol through it. And if the place just opened, they couldn't be ready to skate for 24 hours. Now, here's the best part. So a lot of these men that are playing in the National Hockey League, I don't think would want to play on pink ice. I don't think so. So no one's told the National Hockey League that they're going to have to play on pink ice. So what they do is they create a water-based vanilla paint, and they paint the ice. And then they put 2 more inches of water on top and freeze it. Now, here's the other thing. If you do this outside, because some people make ice rinks outside, they're nuts. You cannot do this if it's too cold or it's freezing outside, because it'll freeze before it hits, and then you'll get bubbles in your ice. So they have a spraying technology, which takes a lot longer, and you can spray the water on. So it's below the chilling area. Cool.
I mean, it is. I mean, I've been to ice rinks before, but they were like pre-made. I mean, they were dedicated to ice skating, so it was different, but I've not, I know that they transform, some of these arenas, overnight, whatever, to do this stuff. I mean, I've seen, arenas and stadiums shift, different things and changing different things. But
now you know why they shift and how they shift.
Listen, you got to learn every day, right? Something new. and I love, we have you do the work, man.
That always intrigued me when I went to go see the devil. I'm like, I wonder how that works. And nobody really explains to you, how it works. But the thing is, these chillers get the stadiums down to -5 degrees Celsius. That's cold. And it doesn't freeze.
Did you say -5 degrees Celsius?
That's correct. To -35 degrees Celsius.
Oh, 30.
They start at -5 degrees Celsius and can go all the way down to -35 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, that's pretty, like North Dakota, Canada cold.
And the chiller typically operates on a 50-ton capacity range.
Okay. All right.
Ice systems will last about 45 years before they're going to need to be replaced.
How much energy does it actually require to run a place like that and to keep it? An idea?
Well, it depends on your size, right? So the energy, a typical ice rink, it's going to cost right around, let's see, if the ice rink is about 45.34, you're talking a huge motor. You're talking about 12,000 to 15,000 gallons of water. Okay.
Damn, only to melt it the next day. That sucks. I mean, well, obviously these are. Now, where does it go? I mean, does it go into pipes? I mean, all that stuff. I mean, it's
What's
recycled. That? I guess it's recycled.
So what happens with glycol is it's very similar to like any other closed system. It just keeps pumping the glycol through to cool it. It never freezes, though. which is why they use glycol.
So it's a recyclable. So it's not like, it just keeps rotating and
So
and
just to
just
give you an example,
Mhm.
when your rink is operating at efficiency, this is the efficiency number. You ready to sit down for this? When
I'm
your
sitting down
rink
already.
is operating efficiently, it'll cost you just slightly under 9.
9,
Just 9.
9, 9
What
what?
kind of 9 do you think I'm talking about?
I don't
Not
know.
$9.
Um,
Not 9,000.
900,
9 million.
9 million. I don't know. I mean, does a game make that much money? I mean, I don't know.
It
uh,
takes a lot of electric energy to run an ice skating facility. A typical community arena can consume between 600,000 and 2 million kilowatts per year. That's a
so what
lot.
would and that's paid
So
by
it
the
depends on your
community?
area. So if we convert that into cost, so cost, it's gonna be 600. That's gonna be a lot.
I know. So
Uh,
so
600,000 kilowatt hours. Okay, so to give you an idea how that comes into play,
yeah.
it's $886 per kilowatt hour.
Ooh-la.
Okay, are you getting the numbers on this?
Yeah, I mean, the calculator is probably gonna get lost and giving me an error message right now.
No. We'll get the calculator working. Don't worry, we got it working.
I'm
But
gonna get
just
one.
just think about that number for a second. That number is astronomical. So, what's that?
I have a question about that, dude.
All right, I'm listening to you.
So we're in a community. There's an ice rink. It costs this much. Who the hell's
Yeah.
paying for it? I mean, I'm
So
I'm
that's a great
assuming the
question. So if you're in a
community.
community,
Yeah.
they start at $26,000. Okay. And the larger ice kits go to 50,000, not including the refrigeration management system to run it. So they typically charge people money to get in. This is why they're not free.
Well, I get that, but like some of the community ones, they're free. I mean, you can just go and have fun.
Yeah, but it comes out of your
Don't you?
taxes.
That's my point. Can they be maybe invested somewhere else? I'm
Maybe,
just
but
asking.
people want ice rinks out and they want them outside.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen an outside one like I mean, open. You mean? I haven't seen those.
Yeah.
I have seen them, enclosed, and pre. I mean, fun stuff to watch, but I don't know. Knowing the cost, it's pissing me off right now because I have one down the block.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you tell me that's where my taxes are going then.
So 45,000 to 57,000. So you have how big is it? Small?
It's a medium
So if the
size.
ice is too thick, it'll require more energy to freeze. So you don't want to have your ice any thicker than 30 inches. A rink will need about 12,000 to 15,000 gallons, approximately. So let's do the simple math on this, all right? In a month, an ice, a typical, just to give you an example, just to show you this, it'll equate to 6 cents per kilowatt hour, typically. Okay, to use 350 kilowatt hours, it's going to equate to roughly $21 a month. Now, how much does it cost to make the water ice? That can average depending on your area. So it's not huge costs when you're thinking about it, but you're talking $21 a month. Now that's for a 350 kilowatt hour. I said 600, right?
Mm.
So you just took that number and took it up to $42 a month. So not that expensive, is it?
You
The
think?
one outside you is probably costing around $50 a month because they got to deal with the elements and stuff like that.
Well,
And you
again,
probably have a portable ice chiller there as well.
again, maybe I'm confused. $50 is the cost per kilowatt
Per month. Per month.
per month. Period.
Per month.
All right, that's not bad.
It's not bad.
All right,
You got to tell me how many tons. You got to tell me how many kilowatt hours you're using. So,
oh,
that's what you have to be looking at.
oh, so that's gonna add up.
Yeah. So this is based on a 600 kilowatt hour unit rink, which most places are not bigger than that. Okay. A 4-ton ice rink chiller is about the smallest size available, but it's adequate for rinks up to 800 square feet, 20 by 40. A 10-ton chiller is adequate for up to 1,800 square feet, say a 32 by 56.
So depending on the
But
size.
you're forgetting something. There's a lot more to it than just spending money on an ice refrigerator.
Well, you got staff. You got
Well,
the
you
whole
forgot something. We got the lighting cost,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's going to be expensive. And this is why they charge so much at these places. So building a skating rink requires a lot in the investment, obviously. The construction of a 40,000 square foot ice rink will cost just slightly over 4 million, 4.3 million.
Well, I get it.
Or
If it's
about $115 per square foot.
Well, I get it if it's a business, right? I mean, or it's an actual arena, it's okay because I mean, you're gonna make it up quickly. Year one,
And
you
most of
can
these
make it.
rinks are not owned by a one person. They're owned by a corporation or owned by several funders because they're very expensive.
No, but they make up their money. I mean, the ticket prices, the food, the beverages, and all the stuff that they have there, the entertainment, whatever, the apparel.
So here's how this works. So the cost of materials, let's say, is about $1,800 for a 30 by 60 foot rink. You pay a handyman or an ice rink installer $65 to $105 per hour to assemble the rink. Assuming it takes 8 hours to build, the total cost would be $2,230 to $2,800. That's approximately. If you decide to do the job yourself, you probably can save yourself $480 to $1,000 if you're handy with building an ice rink.
Okay, I think I pass.
But the costs for a synthetic ice rink are a lot cheaper, which is why they're on boats in a lot of different islands. They're only $14,000 to $395,000.
Whoa, time out. Synthetic, as in fake.
Not real ice.
I get it, but so how does that work? It's a different concept, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so we obviously don't use lard. It allows you to skate anywhere. It uses a solid polymer material for skating using normal metal bladed skates, not the Olympic ones. They're constructed by interlocking panels, and they use synthetic ice, and it's called glice or extra ice or polyglide ice. So now you might be asking, what the heck is synthetic ice? Synthetic ice is referred to as what we call fake ice. It's artificial, it's pretend, imitation. It's an alternative for people that don't want to spend money on real ice. Nothing can compare to real ice because glice comes as close to it as you can get. Otherwise, it gets really costly. So synthetic ice has become so popular, you can thousands of glice places indoors in rinks in 85 countries because they don't want to spend the money. So you're probably wondering, what is AI or artificial intelligent ice made of? It's made from high-density polymer plastic, engineered for ice skating. And the material is molded into tiles and treated and result into a surface that simulates the sliding properties of traditional ice. So
it's skittish.
What's that?
It's skittish. I guess that's what it
it's
is.
basically tiles. There's cheap synthetic ice and more expensive synthetic ice. And so, pushing off onto high synthetic ice is a lot different than skating with regular ice. I mean, the hockey players would not like it. So synthetic ice looks and feels like real ice, but it's a lot cheaper, but it's not exactly the same. So who can skate on synthetic ice? Well, hockey, goaltending people, figure skaters, but they generally don't want to because it's different. People use this synthetic ice for playing games. like toe pick jumping, like they do this toe pick dig jumping, where they throw the little things down the little lane, and that's done with synthetic ice. It's bocce, but it's not bocce. It's like these little discs, and you have a handle on them, and you just kind of spin them. So synthetic ice rink maintenance is still an issue. You have safety, which are big concerns, and many artificial rinks differ between the maintenance. You have vacuuming regularly. You have to mop it. You have to power wash it. And now people ask me, do you have to keep synthetic ice cold? What do you think?
I mean, it's got the term ice. I'm assuming there's got to be some temperature to it.
So synthetic ice is a lot more versatile due to its frozen nature. Real ice is only feasible in cold winter climates, where synthetic ice can be used anywhere. It's referred to as artificial ice, and it's, as I said, made of interlocking panels. So people often ask, what is part of a synthetic ice system? Because I think that's really the question. So what is part of a synthetic, synthetic ice system? And I think what confuses a lot of people is that it is different. Glyce eco rinks function without electricity and water. You heard that right. They're called Glyce, and they function without electricity and water. Looks like ice, feels like ice, but isn't ice. It's Glyce.
Well, it's an imitation ice. I guess it's safe. Well, maybe not safer, but cheaper.
I don't like the idea that you're skating on plastic.
Does it really matter? I mean, you're
well, you can't use all kinds of skates.
Well, I mean, you can roller, skate, right? I mean, this is different. You just have a different type of skates.
Well, yeah. So the thing about synthetic ice is it goes together very similar to like a floor, like, tile kind of links together. Some people decide to put synthetic ice in their basement so they can have an ice rink. You still have to clean it. You use this thing called slip surface cleaner, and you have to remember to resurface it every so often. And so the problem with synthetic ice is it's never going to be as smooth as regular ice.
Well, I mean, you always have the lakes, frozen lakes. They do the trick. Dangerous.
But when you think about, you see, the reason when they started with ice a long time ago, we really didn't have refrigeration back when, synthetic ice rinks were around. And then it came around, and then they tooled this. And so they're trying to get like schools and other places to put a Glyce rink in. And they look pretty neat. I mean, it looks really neat, but it's literally just plastic in a floor. You kind of skate on, but you can't use all kinds of skates. It does not provide the same experience as real ice. Of course, you knew that. Synthetic ice rinks won't give you that same edge or that glide factor when you have on real skating. It's going to be a little toned back. Also, it's a little harder on your knees. So if you're trying to practice jumps, well, don't.
Oh, because it's got a resistance, right? I mean, it's not gonna.
So, it's going to put more wear on your body and more injuries on you. But it's cheaper to maintain, install. So you won't be performing tricks on synthetic ice. Setting up a synthetic ice rink or training area is a big investment, but it's still a lot cheaper than getting a real ice glycol system. And the thing is this, skating on synthetic ice is a different feel than skating on regular ice. And synthetic ice, people ask, how long does it last? Well, it can thin out. It can be installed outdoors or indoors, your basement, your garage, your family room, wherever you want to put it. So you can always buy extra sheets, and when they get thin, just pop them out. That tells me that's not going to last too long, HH.
Well, it sounds like it's a commercial end of it, or maybe
It's
like
not as slippery as regular ice.
Mm.
The initial installation price is very high, but when you need to change it, it's going to be cheaper. Goalie practice on synthetic ice, people ask. Well, yeah, hockey players may find it hard to do certain things, but they can definitely stop a puck on synthetic ice, but it might not be the same as real ice, because on real ice, the puck will go a lot further since it is smoother.
All right. Well, listen, John, if anybody's watching right now, live Canada, or anybody that enjoys, ice skating, chime in, let us know what you think, or Russia,
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think about
Yeah.
synthetic ice? Would you want to install it in your home or no? I mean, you
Me
can.
personally,
No, but what I do want to put in, not this year, maybe in a few years when I'm moving and I'm building a place, I do want to build my own bowling alley. My next article is about understanding how a bowling alley works. I think that's going to be pretty cool.
well, so bowling, I dig. I mean, I can do it. I mean, maybe because I never, listen, I I come from a hot place. I mean, we did have snow. We still do have snow in Morocco, but it's north, in the mountains, not anywhere where I was, and so not a very typical practice there. So when I was a kid, soccer was it, and martial arts for me. That's it. Um, but would I have it in my home here? I mean, it gets cold. I'm not sure. I mean, I've done enough, skating on what do you call that? Black ice, whatever they do that, in the winter.
But I
When
tell
you
people, the next time you go to an ice skating rink, I'm sure you'll go to one, whether you're going to skate or whether you're just going to,
Oh yeah, to watch
watch a
yeah, I'm
game.
sure. Yeah.
It's very interesting. And I was almost going to write about the Zamboni machine, but I said, no, I said the ice is more interesting. I'm going to write about the ice system because it fascinated me, and this is why I love writing articles, because, when I do these articles, I have to research. And that article, that article just flowed. That article was 1,532 words. That was a long
Mm.
article. They average 800 to 1,200.
Well, I mean, you have more details, I guess. You had to break it down. So, options,
And then I
cost.
put a question down in LinkedIn. I said, so what color is the glycol when it's pumped into a floor?
Got me, man.
Not everyone got the right answer.
I wouldn't even know where to begin. So, what is it? Or maybe not. It's just, we'll hold.
Well, yeah.
Well,
So the color, remember I told you that you have to paint the floor
mhm.
white? What did I tell you the hockey colors didn't want to play on?
Pink, I think.
Yeah. Glycol's pink.
All right. I mean, listen.
And the hockey players do not want to see themselves playing on a pink rink.
Why not? Yeah, I don't know. I
So they
mean,
spend an extra hour or two to make up water-based paint, pop it on there, and then they comb on the decals and they paint on the rest of the lines, and then they put 2 more inches of ice. The thing that blew me away is not that it took some time, but that you have to put each layer on and then wait till it dries. That's painstaking. So you spray out 1 inch. Okay, we got it easy. We'll come back, and then when it freezes, we'll come back. We got to put another douse on.
well, yeah, but I'm pretty sure it kind of freezes, rapidly. So it's not like
Well, when they put the water on, you're not talking a long time. You're probably talking like maybe 5 minutes.
each layer.
The first layer,
Okay.
and then as they get the layer, they have to wait for each layer to freeze, and so it depends on the conditions.
All right. Well, listen, I think we're iced up right now. So people, hey, listen, join us, comment if you like ice, skating. You've been to an ice rink. You have ideas. Do you think it's worth the price? Anything, chime in, send your comments, and we'll be more than happy to discuss, or check out John's LinkedIn article, and
Yeah,
comment,
definitely
chime
do that.
in, and participate. I mean, it's already there. What was again the where is it?
BelievMeAchieve.com, and then John's recent articles.
All right.
Now, the
So
thing that's interesting about when they build a professional rink, one that's not temporary like the ones we were talking about. They still have the high-end chillers and stuff like that, and they have the places where you can go and connect them, and you can make everything just hide away like it was never there. It just goes right under the side, of the place. They have like a place that comes right up. But the other one's actually in the floor. Now, here's the other thing that's interesting. So they actually have a layer of insulation of heated concrete that keeps the ground below the ice from freezing. Because even though the pipes are pushed through with glycol, it doesn't mean the rest of the building can't freeze. So it's very important that they have heat below them so they don't freeze. The concrete doesn't freeze.
Listen, they got it down to
And
the
the entire
science.
rink sits on a base layer of gravel and sand, which has groundwater drains at the bottom. Now, you have to defrost the typical seating surface. They use brine water that's heated and pumped through an ice-bearing concrete slab. And this heats the underlayer of the ice, making it easier to break up and remove with front-end loaders.
That's a lot of stuff, a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. And then, you always have the Zamboni machine kind of cones things, but that's interesting. I think people don't realize, when you go to these places, the amount of work that's involved. I mean, I went to American, Dream Wall, and when I saw that rink, now they have a professional ice rink in there, not a temporary one, a professional one.
Yep.
And that means that ice rink, just to let you know, this is not easy. That ice rink was not on the first floor, HH. That ice rink was on the second floor.
I've seen it. I just don't remember what floor it is.
It's on the second floor.
Is it?
And so they had to do some very interesting engineering
Okay.
to build that.
I guess the pipes are running into, the actual floor level, huh? It's elevated, I guess.
Well, I'm sure they're heating it. Right?
Assuming.
It has to be.
Well, that's the case in a lot of malls where they have them. And I've seen them quite a few around the world. I mean,
yeah, the rink itself is an NHL regulation size rink. And this is why they charge, I think it's $29 online and 24 online and 29 in person.
What to actually get in?
To skate.
To skate. Yep. Well, I mean, it costs money. It has to pay itself. Yeah.
Exactly. But you don't think about what goes into this. Did you ever think of that?
No, I mean, yeah, that's what I love what you do here is because it's information that maybe I didn't care about, but
You didn't
it's
care? Okay.
cool. No, not me. But I'm saying, like in normal days, you see it, it's there, but you don't wonder how it all operates. And there's the show like How Did I Do It or something like that, right? How do I manufacture to make it? Same concept, like it's curious to know like how things are built, how things function, how things, how's the engineering of these things. And when you start learning about them, there's some cool stuff, that you find out. And just the finance piece of it is important to actually also know because somebody again is paying for it. I'm pretty sure people are watching right now, listening. Like if they have one in their neighborhood, then they're going to be like, whoa, time out. Well, I'm not using that. So what's up? Where's my money?
What's up is it's just part of your community. It's part of your ordinance.
I get it, but if I don't partake in the ice rink, concept, that's lost money.
That's not their problem.
You got to move in. All right. so
it's kind of like if you're in a city, right? You don't have any kids in school.
Yeah.
You want to be in a place where you don't have to pay a lot of taxes. So you go to a city that has a lot of schools or no schools. So this way there'd be no taxes. Otherwise, you're going to be paying through the nose for school taxes.
Exactly the same. Yep. Well, as a matter of
So if
fact, I mean,
you're in a town with an ice rink and you don't want an ice rink, I suggest you move.
well, here's the thing: if people don't know what it takes to and what it costs, they will not even pay mind to it. But now that they know, looking at watching this show, that's a consideration when you're looking at a neighborhood or a township where you want to actually reside, especially if you're going to purchase a property. Maybe this is a factor that you want to your point, same thing. I don't have kids. I don't have to go to pay for school. Then you find a community that does not have any, right? So again, it's just something to consider as you do your due diligence. As we always say, you have to do the homework. I mean, John is
Yeah,
sharing
you
valuable
got to do the
information.
homework. You got to find out what's going to work best for you. But you know what? There's a company out now that brings mobile ice rinks to you.
Okay.
You can rent these mobile ice rinks.
You see,
that blew me out of the water.
there's always someone that thinks about let me bring it, make it mobile, and
Yeah,
for
they do.
parties
They
that'll
bring
be
it. They
that'll
can
be
bring a
that'll be
small one. They
sweet.
can bring it wherever you want. This one company is called Anytime Ice Skating. Doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing. Well, we'll bring it to you. We can request. We can bring you ice 4 seasons of the year: winter, spring, summer, fall. You're going to pay more money though when it's summertime and you want ice. I got to tell you that much.
Mhm. Well, some people maybe want something unique for their party, right? I mean,
Oh yeah,
well, think about it.
and when
It
we
is a
say
cool thing.
unique, we're not talking $1,000.
Oh,
We're
okay.
talking a lot more.
All right, so I'm out. That won't be me. I tell you that much.
This is one of the ones you got to get a group funding, or you got to get some type of what do you got to get a what do they call that, Kickstarter on this.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So just to give you an example, if you wanted a 16 by 16 rink size, you could have 8 skaters, and they give you 20 rental skates.
How much? Price tag.
Oh, I'm looking here. They are not giving us the price, but they say you can call and we'll be happy to quote you on many of the options, including colored ice, named ice, snow on your ice.
Okay, that tops it. Snow on the ice. I mean, that's cool. Listen, in the middle of
I
August,
think
maybe
okay. How much
Arizona. I don't
does
know.
it cost to rent a portable ice skating rink for temporary use? Here's what we want to know. Are you ready? You ready
Go
for the
for it.
cost? All right. Are you okay with synthetic ice? Because if you are, you can get a synthetic ice rink for just around 7,000 to 21,000. But
I
if
like
you
it.
must have the real ice, well, you're going to be paying just around $23,000 to $74,000 per the event for the event. That includes all setup and whatnot. Now, the portable ice skating rink rental cost. Here's how it works. So the ice rink, including including the board system, for real ice is $16,000 to $40,000, depending on your size. The transport and the construction of the ice rink for your special event, depending on where it's going, $4,500 to $14,700. The operating cost for water and electricity to have a 1 to 3 day event is $2,500 to $7,500. The rink cleaning and maintenance cost, which is required for real ice, is $2,100 to $3,900. The ice rental is only $1,820 to $4,160 for your guests. And the ice skate sharpening machine is only $546 to $1,000, which brings your whole party down to just about $70-some thousand. A perfect way to say I love you, or to say, hey, let's do something special for the holidays. But you can still say I love you and have a great holiday for $10,000 and be happy with synthetic ice.
Well, listen, I mean, it's not a bad idea if, let's say, you want to do something to your point around the holidays, or make it like unique. You're in the middle of August and you love it in an area where there is none, and you bring it. Hey guys, surprise! We're gonna ice, skate around here. That could be a cool opportunity. I don't know. Some people spend more than that on parties,
I
and
know a place in Florida where people were literally, they never had snow, so they brought snow in so they
hey,
could touch
there you go.
snow.
There you go. See, I mean, there's
And now they're actually having young kids learn on these synthetic ice rinks until they decide to get serious, and then they bring them onto. But the problem with the synthetic ice rinks is they cause a lot of injuries.
I mean, to me, any ice will cause an injury to me. I tell you that much. I have done it only a couple of times in my life when I went to an ice, rink, and I, hit my bottoms a few times, and that was it. And I was like, this is not for me. I'm cool. And I think the last time I was on one of those was probably 1993. So 30 years
And
ago.
then, of course, you can do mobile roller skating if you want to save a few bucks. You can do that and just do some neon thing, and that'll be a lot less money than an ice skating rink. So the question is, do you want to fork the money down for real ice, or are you happy with just synthetic ice? In other words, do you want real chocolate, or are you okay with the stuff that says it's probably chocolate? Not me. I want the real chocolate.
Well, I mean, real
There's
chocolate. You gotta
something
go.
about that
You, you
vanilla
got
bean.
you gotta go. You gotta go south. I mean, somewhere in the Latin, continent, and
Yeah, you
get
know what I
some
do? I
real
go to the
cacao.
Madagascar forest. I don't go there directly, but I go to the Madagascar forest, and I have the bean. If you get 2 vanilla beans, I think it's $19.99 now for 2 vanilla beans in a jar.
Okay,
I go to Restaurant Depot and I get 20 of them for $100.
the real ones.
They're real ones, but they're in bulk.
Okay.
So individually wrapped. They're in one bag.
Now, but chocolate, you got to get some cacao from,
Yeah,
the.
well, I get the chocolate from Europe, and then I make from the pellets, and then I temper my own chocolate.
No, but dude,
They send
I've
me
had
a whole
some. I've
bag,
had,
and I just literally. What's
I've
that?
I've been into some like in Honduras. I've been into Belize, and literally into the factories where they make fresh ones, zero sugar, man. It's as bitter as it gets. It's pretty healthy. I mean, you just have to have the taste for it, and that's the real thing. I mean, it's because the stuff that they sell us is a lot of sugar in it.
But I think the interesting thing, though, HS, is that everything in life, and we've talked about this before. Everything in life has a story. I don't care if you're talking about your cell phone,
Mm.
talking about your jeans, your shirt, your cap, your microphone, your car, jewelry, watch, a piece of fruit. Everything has a trivial story to it. And so this is why I love doing John's recent articles, is because every life has a story. Do you take the time to stop and learn its story? If I just told you guys about ice, but I didn't share a story with you, I doubt you would remember my article. But the fact that I shared about what happened in England and how the glaciarium went down and it went out of business and then they reopened in 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, just like with the dishwasher. You guys wouldn't care about the dishwasher, but the fact that I told you it was owned by a lady company, and the fact that so many times it wanted to be taken over by a man and she said no. And then she says, I'm going to make this dishwasher pretty much whether it kills me. She was an engineer, but her family was, and they helped her build a dishwasher. Today, known as KitchenAid. It got sold to a gentleman at KitchenAid. And so, but they don't say anything about that they were the first, that they owned the first dishwasher. I think that's bad branding.
Well, or maybe they just don't want that whole backdrop, to be known.
No, but I think it's good for their history or their heritage. Right?
I agree. I mean, listen. I mean, to your point, there's a story behind everything. There's a
Yeah.
reason. There's a rationale, right? And most of these things are pretty cool when you think about them. I mean, and once you know and
People
you
say to
learn.
me, you have a life. I said, yes, I love creating content. They look at me. I went to, oh, by the way, happy belated Cinco de Mayo Day, everyone. I know that was just a few days ago. On Cinco de Mayo Day, so once a week I go out to a restaurant and I review, usually a small mom pop. I went to El Mocajit in New Jersey, which means rock, I think in Spanish. And I went out there and they brought me some salsa and some chips and had a little kick. It was good. It wasn't just like a boring one. And then they gave me a small cheese quesadilla and I ordered a burrito. and I had 2 there and 1 I took home. And I said to the guy who didn't speak a lot of English, I said, "Is this fried?" He said, "Oh yeah, it's fried." Later on, I realized a burrito's not fried. And then for dessert, I had flan. I didn't have the refried beans. I had extra rice. And then the next day, I had half it over, and I thought it was great. And that was just about south of $16. And then with dessert, it was like $24 with the flan.
You're making me hungry, man. Me and I mean, it is, some people's, late dinner. So, or I don't know, early, depends.
I had it before. I just made myself 2 Maryland crab cakes, 3 ounces of French fries, and some steamed vegetables. And lastly, I had some Breyers ice cream, half a cup, and a nice cup of tea.
Okay. We have the
morning.
menu.
I made myself a nice omelet.
All right. So listen, I mean, we don't have a lot of time for today. I mean, we've covered, the ice rink history, and
I'm freezing. How about you? I got to get my jacket.
Well, I mean, so talking about cold, it's getting a little warmer than it had been. So I'm happy for that. I am not a big cold person per se. So I enjoy, mild, anything over 75 is good for me. 75 to like 95.
So we're getting the 60, 65. You okay with those?
I'll manage.
You'll manage. Oh, I don't want you to be depressed.
Yeah, just don't hit the 50. Now, you, on the other hand, are supposed to be in Florida, and so that is a different weather. I think it's a little bit.
I'm not there yet. I'll be there next week. I'm going down. They asked me just to come down. I'm going to see my mom for Mother's Day. I'm going to leave, I think, Friday, and I'm going to go down and check things out.
Well, so let's say that. I mean, let's first wish an early happy Mother's Day.
Yes, early Mother's Day. Oh, and by the way, if you guys want to get some more of this great goodness, which I know you guys love, on Wednesday, I'm going to be hosting one of my first free JCM Academy masterclasses. We got about 12 or 14 people already signed up, and we're going to be giving you some tips and tricks. We'll be doing this once a month to improve the quality of your life. It's about an hour, and then 15 minutes for Q&A, and we don't run it on Zoom. We only run it on StreamYard.
All right. Well, sign up, folks. It's pretty cool, and then you get to learn a few tricks. And John is pretty knowledgeable. He's got a lot of stuff to offer. So take it. Whenever there's free information, I mean, you should take advantage of it, right? I mean, most people say, I don't have the money, but if you do have the ability to actually get your knowledge, why not, right?
But it's more than just taking it, HH. It's actually taking it and applying it. I hate when people come to a class and they listen to everything, and then it's all over. And my catch, oh yeah, you could use it. Nah, that's okay. I'll think about it. Well, why'd you come to class? Oh, well, maybe someday in the future. Right. So someday's never gonna come, is it? Because you're going to keep pushing someday in the future. So really what you're doing is procrastinating, aren't you? Yeah.
Knowledge is only good if you're going to put it to play, right? And practice.
Got to put it in play. You got to exercise it. And you got to know that knowledge is power. And you have to use that power intelligently and wisely. So you use it to empower people and not disempower them, including yourself.
Love it. Well, so I want to go back to the Mother's Day thing. So again, happy Mother's Day to all mothers out in the world. And but I have one question, and maybe we can bring this table into the next show. But
sure,
Mother's Day shouldn't be once a year. Mother's Day should be every day. And at least that's how I see it personally. I mean, you got to take care of moms, and mom here is it's your mom, it's your wife, anyone who's a mother, and your sister, your aunt, whoever, right? But
a motherly type figure to you.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
A motherly figure, someone who's acting motherly to you.
There you go.
Motherly qualities.
So you got to, be good to them and appreciate them.
Did you know, ladies and gentlemen, that we are celebrating Mother's Day right now? It started in 1907. when Anna Jarvis held the first Mother's Day service of worship at Andrews Methodist Episcopal Church in Grafton, West Virginia. And Andrews Methodist Church now holds the International Mother's Day Shrine. So that means we're just about 40 years into Mother's Day.
Wow. What happened before?
What's that?
What happened before?
Well, that was 1907. And then in 1870.
Did you say 1907?
1907, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
but then 40 years before, like now we're in the 1870s, Mother's Day proclamation came in 1870. But that was just when the church had recognized it. In 1908, the U.S. Congress rejected a proposal to make Mother's Day an official holiday, thinking that it was not constitutional. I think that's a little bit bad. Later, they, I guess, rethought their ways. And by the 1920s, you guessed it, our friends at Hallmarks, well, they jumped at that opportunity to make some money and started selling Mother's Day cards ever since. And it's been one of their busiest days of the year.
Wow. So, you got to love, any opportunity to monetize, and to,
capitalization, right, everyone?
Yeah. I mean, that's what, but it's smart in a way. Listen, it's an opportunity. I mean, and then everybody got into it, and now you got gifts and this and that, and what, again, my question was, I mean, it's funny that you stay in 1907 and the 1870s, and it was declined by the in the Constitution and all that stuff. And, this just reminds us that all our laws are more or less human based in a way, because we decide on what we want, when we want it. Some people, depends on the right person to come on and kind of claim and proclaim and eventually approve, and whatever the case may be. But this is, moms have existed since the beginning of time. And all we have to say is that, they should be appreciated every day and not necessarily in one day. At least that's in my book. That's how I see it. So, just my 2 cents about that. So
you may not say Happy Mother's Day, but I think the most important thing is to say thank you. I love you, Mom. Thanks for all you do. So you may not have to say Happy Mother's Day, but I think the most important thing is you should just show her that you appreciate her for all the sacrifices she made for you.
Oh, no doubt. And again, don't just hold the gift until it's the day, the one time a year. I mean, it's not Christmas.
Do send a card though, and do send that card tomorrow, or they may not get it.
Yeah, or just visit, be there physically, as John is doing. He's making the trip, and and of course, for those that are I guess fortunate enough to have them close by. Here's the thing: you have one mother, you have one father, typically, and what's going to happen is one day they may not be around, and so you got to take advantage of that. So that's just my thing. And the more
cherish the time you have with them on Earth.
That's right. And by the way, this doesn't mean they go first. That could be anyone goes first before the other. But the idea is, while you're alive, just maximize the opportunity, because the day that they're not here or you're not here, that's over. So again, my 2 cents. Again, I wanted to plug them, because I always question, why is it one day? I mean, I get the commercial aspect of it, so that's cool. And just like Father's Day, same thing. Why is it a Father's Day? I mean, it's every day.
That's not as popular though. Father's Day doesn't sell a lot of cards. Mother's Day.
Yes. That's
Father's
okay.
Day is just.
I'm not jealous.
It's not a big holiday for them.
I'm not jealous. It's all good. But the
Mother's Day restaurants do better on Mother's Day. Father's Day, everybody cooks at home, so they don't like Father's Day, because the restaurants don't get a lot of business on Father's Day. Mother's Day, nobody cooks. Father's Day, fathers cook, so they don't like Father's Day. Because they get gypped.
Right. Again, it's Father's Day every day, Mother's Day every day. If you have those two still, listen, I'll give anything to have my father back, and I can't. And so every moment I had with him was pretty much it. And I'll do whatever it takes to get it back, and it's not happening. So I know that value. And same thing, if you have a mom, just take care of her, do whatever it takes, and be there, be nice. And that's all there is, cherish, love, care, and that's it. We're on the top of the hour, dude.
We are.
I know. Yeah.
I didn't even think. I was wondering when we were going to start. So we talked about a lot of stuff tonight, and hopefully you guys got a little wiser. And you can always rewatch the show whatever time you'd like, and
Hmm.
soak up some of these great nuggets because we said a lot of stuff tonight.
Everything.
And I'm not sure if I remember everything tonight, but we did say a lot of stuff. So you can always go back and listen to them if you want to learn how to build your own ice rink. Well, not all the details, but at least some of them, and at least give you maybe an appreciation for what I like to call our world's marvels of engineering. And an ice rink is definitely a marvel of engineering.
Well, it is. I mean, it's a cool thing. I mean, literally, it's a cool thing. you know, no pun
It's an
intended there.
amazing thing, and
It
I
is
had people
amazing.
commenting back in the article. Oh, John, that was a cool article. I know it's very cool. No, the idea was good.
Listen, it just happens. We play on words sometimes. It's cool. It's catchy. But yeah, as John said, I mean, today was again. Remember this, just to remind anyone watching this show. This is not your typical show. We do other shows, and they are more structured differently. They have topics and things. This is we talk. We launch the discussion. Something comes up. We discuss it. We move to the next one. We move to the next one.
And we take your
Uh,
feedback when you ping us.
That's it. And that's all there is. So it isn't a more of a casual ad hoc, and there's always something that's going to come out of it. Where it's valuable to you, to us as well. I mean, I learn
You just
actually
don't know
from
what
John.
we're going to talk about or when we know when we're going to talk. You just don't know what we're going to talk about and
That's right.
where it might go.
It goes somewhere. I tell you that much, and it's always fun place. So, yeah, and John makes it fun. I have to say. Speaking of John making it fun, just as a heads up, I mean, John, tomorrow you're gonna have your radio show in the morning, right?
What's that?
Your radio show in the morning.
Tomorrow's radio show is tomorrow. Yes, live.
Yeah.
WTBQ, WGHT, 10 o'clock a.m. Is going to be, it'll be on tomorrow, Tuesday morning. And tomorrow's topic, I can share you with tomorrow's topic. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about something pretty interesting that I think a lot of people will definitely, I should say, they definitely would want to learn about. And that's understanding the power of what we think and say, which we've learned from many people, including Earl Nightingale Conant. We become what we think about most often. So start watching the words that you elicit.
Well, guess what? Tune in tomorrow, I mean, do you accept callers?
We do accept calls, absolutely. If you just go right to WTBQ.com and we take calls, we give away things. And if you're musically inclined, be sure to go to BelieveMeAchieve.com, and why not sign up to compete in our first annual Battle of the Bands? Do you have the chutzpah and the talent to be first? If you do, you're going to get a spot to play once on my show that goes out to about 25,000 people every Tuesday morning. Would you love that opportunity?
All right. There you go. So, listen, why not? If you have the talent, and you want to participate,
Or
join
if you
it.
don't and you just want to play and compete, you have to start somewhere. Meet some
Listen,
friends, network, have some food. And for those of your friends that don't want to attend and still worried about COVID, we got you covered. $15 and you can get a virtual seat. You don't need to wear a mask there.
wait,
No
time out,
mask
time out.
required in person either.
I thought that was removed, that whole thing with masks.
No. We're still allowing people to get virtual tickets because we realize they're still not comfortable to come in person. But we are in person, no masks required.
All right. Yeah,
So you can cheer for your private band safely at home without breathing on anyone except for your computer.
all right. You can't go wrong with that. So, definitely
No,
COVID friendly. All right.
but you won't get to taste the food.
Do you use that DoorDash or any one of those? I'm just
We
joking.
have the food being catered.
All right. Well, listen, folks. Yeah, I
We have
think
to say goodnight.
yeah, that's it. This is it. All
And be
right.
sure to catch me. Hopefully, Open doesn't have the issues this weekend. You'll catch the JCM show, which will go live this Saturday at 9 p.m. So
Oh,
definitely catch that. I think you're definitely going to enjoy that.
That's on iHealth Radio. That's not on the FM. So that's the other radio. And you got to download the app for that
We
one.
just got lots of content for you. So just open
Yeah.
up your mind, open up your ears, and take it all in because it's a wild ride. Hold on.
I had to. I'm sorry. All right, John. It's wrap
I gotta
time.
go play with some
You gotta-
glycol and maybe make myself an ice rink before I go to sleep. No, just kidding.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Good night, everyone.